Yeah, there's a countdown, and I
Oh yeah,
can
there's a
see it.
countdown. I do see it. Oh, it says we're live though.
Yeah,
It
now we're
says
live. Yes,
now we're live. Okay.
now we're live. In the background, before we go live, it has this prompt, and it has a countdown from five, and it says five, four, three, two, one. And
Oh,
and I
okay.
didn't know if I knew obviously until we go live, the viewers couldn't see it, but I wondered in the panel if the in the broadcast room if the panelists can see it or if it was just me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're live now, right? So
Yeah, we're live now. We're gonna give it a minute for
okay.
some
We
people to
weren't
come in.
live. We weren't live when we were talking about all those stock tips, though, right?
No, no, no. When we made our
No.
millions,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, no,
Good.
no,
Because yeah,
no. We
yeah, we
didn't.
don't
No,
want to. We don't want anyone to take our advice.
no. Influence the market. No, we don't want that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Northern Tesla. Hey, Mags. Hey, and I always get this gentleman's name wrong, and I apologize from Ottawa, Gilio, and I probably am butchering it, but I apologize. Like I said, we're just going to give it a minute, let a couple more people come in, because you know what, Paul, I don't know about you, but
Yes.
this is a record. Like, I've never started 2 minutes after the start time. It's always been like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
Whenever I'm not on and I join your podcast, I usually wait the first 10 minutes and then I join.
yeah, I don't blame you.
No offense.
No, no, none taken. I don't blame you. You know what? I just realized I forgot one of my lights, but I'm looking at the screen here. I don't need it, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Cool.
He says, correct, not you are not. Correct,
Correct.
not.
Not you are not.
I'm confused even more now. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's start. It's 8 minutes after. No, sorry. It's 4 minutes after the hour here on the East Coast. So we might as well start. You ready, Paul?
I was born ready.
You're
Let's
born
do it.
ready. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tesla Talks podcast for the month of May. Not to say that we're not going to do more in May. I'm kind of liking this, but you know, now that summer is picking up, life is getting busier, at least for me and probably for everyone else. So we'll try to get one in every month, but we may get more, we may get less. We'll see how it goes. Paul was nice enough to join us here tonight. Paul from Electric Connect. Nice to have you join us, Paul, on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
No
Just the two of
problem.
us.
Just the
Isn't
two of
that a
us, yes.
song? Just the two of
Yes,
us?
just the two of us, yes.
I can't sing, so I won't try it. But
No, but we were saying off camera that I don't think we've done two before. But you know what? And we were looking for that phrase, the opposite of more the merrier. And what did you come up with?
less is more.
Less is more. Less is
That's
more.
right.
That's exactly
We're,
it.
we're, we're going to prove that we don't need Franklin.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna go there, but seeing you did, yeah, that bastard's not here, so that's okay.
Not to
No,
mention Northern Tesla. So
yes, yes. You know, people have busy lives, so I understand people can't make it. Yeah, those two, Franklin and Dan, and of course Darren from Drive Tesla Canada.
who could forget about Darren?
Yeah, you guys are my main staples, and when you can make it, it's great to have you guys on. And when you can't, I fully understand and I get it, right? So
Well,
there's
you know,
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say there is a downside to having Darren, right? Because you know that he knows stuff, and then you'll ask him, and he'll just go.
Yeah, it's so true.
He won't tell us.
I know it's a little I wouldn't
It's
say
pluses and
aggravating.
minuses.
Yeah, it's pluses and minuses exactly. But I get the poor guy. But you know, you know who it really bothers, I think, and he hasn't told
Who?
me, but I think it really bothers Dan, Northern Tesla.
Yeah. Dan seems easily bothered by stuff. So no, just kidding, Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Since you're not here, we can pick on you. So
Yes, just like Franklin. Franklin is he's on hiatus. He's on vacation. That's why he can't join us tonight. He's on vacation.
well,
Um,
there's actually a rumor going around that he's like, joining Tesla. Is that true?
yes,
He's
it
going
is
to be
true.
part of the AI team or something?
Yep, yep, that is true. I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to say anything. I'm just going to switch this around here, buddy, if you don't mind. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
it
got
is.
my better side now.
Yeah, it is true. I didn't want to say anything. He told me don't say anything at all, and I told him no promises, no guarantees. So yeah, we're spilling the beans. Yeah, he's going to be part of the AI team. What they're actually going to do is they're going to open up his brain and do like
Yes.
open brain surgery, like
Like
well,
Severance.
yeah, was that the movie where they saw off the
That's the
top of
Apple
his?
TV show.
Okay, maybe okay. I
But
haven't seen
in all
that.
seriousness, apparently he's going to be involved in not the next rewrite of FSD that's coming, but the rewrite after that rewrite.
I don't know if to take it
No, I'm
seriously.
just
I
kidding.
didn't hear
There's
that. Okay, okay.
there won't be another rewrite. This last rewrite is the one.
Is it
It's the one.
because it's
Like the Matrix.
$12,000?
That's
Is
why
it
they jacked it up.
Sorry, not is it 12? No, it's 13,000, isn't it? No, it's 12.
13 in
12.
Canada.
Well, what is it? You know what? Dan's gonna kill me because he says this was big news and it wasn't on one of my lists, so I'm just adding it in now. But yeah, 12. Okay, 12.8. Thank you to my friend from Ottawa that I can't pronounce his name. $12,800 here in Canada, and you know what? And it originally was 10,600, right? So it went up 2,200 bucks
Yes.
if my math is correct.
Yes.
Now that's excluding tax depending on the province you live in, and it's going to add it.
Mhm.
Here in Ontario, that's just shy with tax. That's just shy of $15,000, and it upset some people. Did it not? Like maybe
I
not
think
you,
it
because
did.
yeah,
Well, because there was no warning, right?
exactly.
I think people were expecting like to get the, you know,
The 1
if you're
week.
going to shell out that much money, you don't want to do it until you have to, right? So everybody was expecting I was expecting a warning. I mean, like I already have FSD, so it doesn't matter. But I know that a lot of people with Teslas who were like, okay, when I get the warning, I'm going to do it, right? And that warning never came.
No, and that I think Tesla's showed everyone or taught everyone a lesson. It's like, don't wait for us. If you're gonna get it, you want to get it. And you know, this is what a lot of people. There was one. I wish I had the tweet, and I'm not prepared. So this is typical of the Tesla Talks podcast. You know, you're at the right place when I'm not prepared.
when
Yeah,
there's something on a tangent.
yeah, and that too. Yes, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, there was some tweet out, and I forget the guy's name. He was a pretty or girl, I'm not sure, pretty prolific on Twitter as a Tesla guru or follower, and they must be Canadian, and they mentioned how they were pretty upset at Elon, and they're asking Elon to see if in the tweet if they could like maybe just honor the old price or reverse it for a little bit because there should have been a warning. And there was there was a flood of responses with people that just had no sympathy. It's the only way I could say it. Had zero sympathy for this guy or this girl.
You know, as the Tesla community continues to grow, it continues to get more and more interesting, and there's some very polarized kind of conversations that go on, right? It's like, you know, I think a warning would be appropriate. There was lots of precedent for it, and there should have been a warning. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah.
You're right. There were a lot of people who chimed in and said, you know, basically, tough luck.
Suck it
right?
up. Yeah.
Suck it up, right? So I don't know. Like maybe I have too much compassion.
Yeah. Oh, I've been told by my wife I don't have enough. So, yeah. But I kind of agree with you. My wife told you the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. We had
Wait a-
dinner the other night, Dax. Just saying.
Tangents.
Okay, how did we get on that
tangents?
Okay.
Uh,
Next topic.
okay, Paul, can you
Yes.
see the comment on the screen there?
Yes, I can.
Okay, how do you, if you had to pronounce this gentleman's first name, how would you
I'd
take
say
a stab?
Julio.
Julio? See, I think the G is an H too. Yeah, and I think I said that one
Right.
time, and then I doubted
Yeah.
myself. So Julio. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
go with Julio. Okay.
We're
He-
probably making fools of ourselves here. I don't know.
Well, no, we're taking our, in all due respect, we're taking our best stab at it. And
Yeah.
hey,
we're doing our
listen,
best.
with a name like Dax, trust me, I'm in no way, shape, or form in any position to make fun of people's names.
I've been called Paul, Ball, Saul, you name it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, listen, names are very personal, and I always try, and it's because maybe growing up throughout my whole life, here comes a tangent, Paul, not
Yes.
people not getting my name right, that I,
Oh,
and
there's
I
a
never take
clue.
offense
There's a
to it.
clue. That's
Where-
a song from Paul Simon, Julio down by the schoolyard. Yeah.
yes, yes.
So I must be right. I must be
You,
right.
or he's making fun of you.
Or he's making fun of
Or he's making fun of you.
Sorry, I get excited when I think I'm right. So
No,
sorry.
I think you are right. Now I got to go back and find his question now. Oh, right here. Okay, yeah. Tangents, buddy. Tangents. Oh, I should rename this Tesla Tangents podcast.
That's the tangents.
Yes.
Actually,
So
I might go register that.
go do it right now. If you were Franklin, you'd be doing it right now as you're on the
Totally.
podcast. So he was
owns
saying
like
he was
100 domains.
that, and he also
99 are Tesla.
multitasks while he does this. Yeah. So Julio was hoping at the same time the subscription would be ready by now, and I kind of hoping it would be too. But now, once again, I don't know, and I wish I knew someone in the U.S. that went through this. And if anyone in the comments knows or watching, leave a comment down below if you know. If you subscribe, do you have to go through that whole rigmarole of the safety score thing? Like, I guess you would, but then again,
Well,
but here's
strange.
I know what you're gonna say, right? You're paying for something on a monthly basis that you may not get for 4 months. Like,
Okay.
I'm exaggerating 4 months, but you may not get for 2 months.
We need one of our American friends to chime in, right?
Yeah.
But to Julio's comment here, the other thing too, there's a similar one, which is in the US, they have the annual payment, which basically saves 2 months of cost for the premium subscription.
Yes.
So we don't have that either. So
No.
I don't understand. I mean, is it that much different doing business in Canada versus the US?
Yeah, well, you know what they have to do? They have to hire somebody to do the exchange rate. Like,
Well, they got to keep on top of that.
That's their one job. They're like, you know what? We got to get someone to be able to do the exchange rate for the FSD of whatever it is in the US. What's it? $199 in the US, right? I think it is.
The subscription, I believe. Yeah.
200. Yeah.
I had 400 here.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now, if it's $400 here, I myself, and I think I speak on behalf of a lot of other Canadians, we're not going to get it. I'm already having a hard time. If it's 300, 250, I could swing. 300 will probably be the tipping point type of thing. Anything over 300, you've just made my decision easy, Tesla. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what it is.
Do you know with the subscription, the way it works in the US, can you start at 1 month, stop at the next, only use it when you're going on a big trip? Or
yeah, you can. That I know you can do. It is month to month. And places like, when you mentioned it just now, the annual subscription, and you save a little bit of money, you pay 10 months and you get 12. That, to me, when I hear that, I think of California and Florida, because and obviously maybe Texas and a few other southern states that can take advantage of it. Here in Canada and northern states, for you to pay for the whole thing year round, it's kind of a waste of money. Because and I will say, this is coming from somebody that doesn't have FSD, so I might be just blowing smoke out of where. But Paul, you have it. Would you pay for it in the winter time? If you didn't have it, would you subscribe to it in the winter?
Since I've had it, we had a late kind of spring snow, and so I did have it out, with the roads covered, and it didn't work. Let's be honest, right?
Okay.
So
I think that's your answer.
If the streets are plowed, right, then it works, no problem. But if there's snow on the road, it's really, it wasn't an enjoyable experience, if I'm being honest. Right?
Yeah. I hear you. And I believe you. And you know what our Tesla fans from the South would say? Well, don't drive when it's snowing out. Wait for them to plow the streets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how do I summon my vehicle?
You don't. You wait for the snow to melt. Come on.
Okay.
Okay. You know what? We've been talking a little bit about Tesla. Well, we're talking a lot about Tesla with this whole subscription and FSD and the prices going up, but we haven't even really started our topics. Like, this was just improvising. This was basically just pandering to Northern Tesla. And he says here, I'll put up his comment. It says they have 8 months to figure it out. Yeah. Well, or
they also have another 8 months to figure out if they've solved the heat pump issue too. So.
Oh yeah, that's all these topics that we're not even.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, you know what? We'll wait and see, buddy. My heat pump. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to say it. Moving on for stuff. We're not going there. But we are going to stay Canadian in two ways. In terms of all our articles have come to us tonight from Drive Tesla Canada. That makes it Canadian, but also the first or the official first topic, even though we talked about something before, is also going to be Canadian. And this has to do with the supercharging fees in Canada. Now, in the past couple months, or a couple months ago, they skyrocketed. They went from a very reasonable price where it was a no-brainer to go EV and charge at a supercharger to, you know what? It's so expensive now that it correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. It was like, if you got even with the gas prices the way they are, if you got like a semi economical car, like it was coming close to coming near that price of an ICE car in terms of efficiency. Not efficiency, but costs. So people complained, and Elon had actually come out maybe a month ago or a few weeks later after that, because somebody complained. I forget who it was that complained about it, and he said that he's going to look into it. It almost sounded like he didn't know about it, and he said he'd look into it, but he did also blame the higher rates in the Canadian regulations and how we're billed. Us as the owners we're billed permitted instead of the actual electricity that we use, which is per kilowatt hours, which is what I think they do down in the States, and which is the correct way to do it. Now I guess we have to get our government involved to change that, and Tesla's been, in fairness to them, they've been a good proponent for that, and they've been spearheading that pretty good. But it's going to take some while. You know how any government is, especially our Canadian government. Things don't happen quickly. So. And they still haven't happened, but while we're waiting, it seems to have gone down a little bit. And I apologize to any of the, I'll try to explain it, but I apologize to any of the podcast audio-only listeners, because I've got pictures up here for anyone that's watching the YouTube feed of before and after. They use some examples here in Prince Edward Island, one of the provinces in the East Coast here, how it used to be from the low tier. It used to be 31 cents a minute, and now that's gone up. But, sorry, am I reading this the right way or backwards here? Hold on a second.
There's actually a chart at the bottom of that's a lot easier to.
Okay, this chart.
A lot easier to look at.
Thanks for what I would be without you. Okay, so originally, 10 minutes would cost you 25 cents a minute, which would be $2.50. Now, in March, that not even 10 minutes, but 9 minutes went up to 26 cents. So it actually went down. And this is one of the tiers that they were talking about. Today, it's actually gone. Am I reading this right? Yeah, it's gone up. But that's because within the first 10 minutes, if you're low, you're going to be up there in one of those high tiers where you're going to be 100 to 150 kilowatts or over, right? And then anything... And as it tapers down, anything lower, then you start saving money. And I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this.
It would be easier if the the amount of charge that was delivered during the sessions was on this chart. No offense, Darren. That'd be easier to look because you quantifiably, I don't know how much juice this person got. Maybe it's in the pictures, I don't know, but the chart doesn't really tell the story. But nonetheless, I mean, if you look at these numbers and you compare them to the gas prices today, right? I mean, yeah, they're higher than they used to be, and that's really due to the stupid regulation that has its roots, back 100 years ago, that no one seems to want to get off their arse in Canada to, can I say arse? I think so.
You just
No one
yeah,
wants to get off their arse in Canada to fix it, right? And I imagine this makes the pricing model very complex because obviously Tesla doesn't want to lose money, right? Especially if you're charging at peak times during the day when the rates are going to be super high, right? So they're probably putting a lot of buffer in here to make sure that they don't lose money when someone's charging. So there could be too much buffer, but that's, I think, a business decision that Tesla has made, and still comparatively to gas, it's nowhere near what gas is costing nowadays. So I'm not overly fussed about it, but I would like to see the price per was it
kilowatt hours?
Yeah, I would like to see that. Same like with the US, it's always so easy and so clear, right? And Canada, it's just a shit show. Oh, can I say that?
It is. No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In a nutshell, looking at let me try to redo this again. In a nutshell, looking at Darren's chart that he has, and you got to go to his website and see the pictures and understand what we're talking about. Basically, originally, when it cost $9.85, that changed in March to over $16 to charge. Now, as with the adjusted prices today, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong; it's not perfect, but it is adjusted a little bit. Now it's just under $16, so you're saving, like, it looks here like maybe 50 cents. So it's, like you said, Paul, it's a far cry from gas prices, but it also is a far cry from the original $9.85 that it used to cost. So it looks like it's gone up, like, it looked like it went up probably 60%. Now it looks like it's gone up 50%. So they rolled it back 10%. So it's a start. You know what? I posted this. It's funny. We talked about this because I posted this on my Facebook group, my Model Y and Model 3 group. And you know what? I looked at it and it's a good start. It's not perfect. And to raise it that much and only bring it back this much, I get it. But you wouldn't believe the amount of cynical people and the people that were just so upset, they just couldn't care. They're like, you know what? A lot of them actually had a theory that this was Tesla's, game plan from day one. They were going to raise it some stupid price, and then a month later they'd bring it back and make it look like they're coming to the rescue and they're listening to us and they're saving us and everything. But it was the plan all along. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some people who do feel that way, not just about this, but with a few other decisions. Like, for example, the wall charger, right?
Oh, that debacle. Yes.
That debacle, where it's like, what, $400 for that thing, and then all of a sudden they can sell it for $200, right? So who knows, right? Which is, now you're paying $200 out of your pocket, but you feel better because you're not paying $400. Kind of ingenious, right? They say Elon's a marketing genius. Like, forget about all the other stuff, right? But his ability to position, right, is exceptional.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, I don't know. I don't subscribe to that, to say that they were actually purposely doing that. I mean, yeah, it's not perfect, and it's still not perfect. But we can't excuse them, or we don't know behind the scenes why they raise it so much in the first place. But to think that, and I get it, you're pissed off. I totally get it. I would be angry too. But to say that they meant to do this all along and it was some conspiracy, like, this is, I don't know. Are these the flat earthers that I have in my group that everything is a conspiracy to them?
It's I wouldn't call it a conspiracy. I would call it a marketing technique, right? This is not, Elon didn't invent this, right? And
No,
it wouldn't surprise me if the discussion in the boardroom was very much that way. Say, hey, listen, we're going to do this. We'll jack it up a little bit. People will complain. We're going to dial it back a little bit. In the end, we're going to make a lot more money, but people are going to feel good about it.
like this is where they wanted to be, and they went up above and beyond temporarily to come down to where they wanted to be. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy. I'd say that they could have deployed this type of a marketing strategy, right? Which, in the end, I mean, these are strange times, right? Where, we haven't seen these levels of inflation in 30 years, right? And, is Tesla taking advantage of that a little bit? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they're maintaining their 30% margin, right, in these very difficult times. So, yeah, I mean, the average car manufacturer, I think the average margin is like 9 to 12%, right? It's much lower. So people keep signing up to buy. So I guess in a way, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Right? They can get away with this stuff.
And you know what? Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what I love about having you on the podcast, buddy, is you are brilliant at segues, because that
I don't know
what you just touched on there rolls right into our next topic, which is I don't know.
Knows how to stroke my ego.
I'm not even going to comment on it. The next topic is we're talking about Elon. He was on this broadcast. I guess it was like, I don't know if it was a podcast. I don't know if it was a broadcast. It was what was it called? Financial Times Future of the Car Summit. That was yesterday. So he was on that. Did you get a chance to listen to that or watch that yesterday, Paul?
Unfortunately, no. Just hadn't had time. It was on my list and just didn't get to it. But I read the article.
I was going to say everything that needed to be taken from, I think it was like an hour and a half. It seemed to be put into articles like Darren did here on Drive Tesla Canada. So if you catch up on the articles, you didn't miss anything. But it seemed like, well, first off, the guy was really peppering Elon with Twitter. And I get it, right? I mean, listen, Elon can't blame him. The guy is an interviewer, and the biggest thing with Elon today is Twitter, right? So you can't blame the guy for, hammering with Twitter questions, right? But it looked, and I don't know if it was the Twitter questions or just in general, but it looked to me, and this is just my opinion, that Elon was not having fun in this interview. Like, it seemed like
his face.
Yeah, and well, that one picture, maybe that's one picture that still speaks volumes, right? But just maybe not even in the Twitter thing. It just seemed like maybe he didn't like this guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Don't mean to put words in his mouth or anything. But that's what I took from it. It looked like he was very annoyed. But it was an interesting interview. He doubled down. What I did notice in the interview, as the interviewer, which is what doing his job that he's supposed to do, he was trying to pry Elon for future products and stuff like that, and Elon kept reiterating. And this I find is either the new Elon or the more mature Elon, because I'd say 3, maybe even 2 years ago, that same Elon from that year, that many time ago, if you ask him the same question, he couldn't help himself. He would spill the beans. But now Elon is a lot more refrained, a lot more controlled. And he kept saying, this is not the platform for announcements of future products or something to that regard. He must have said it. I heard it at least 3 or 4 times during the interview. It was pretty interesting, because he was asking him about a lesser volume. First of all, it was about the Cybertruck, a couple things. He didn't want to go too much into it. Something about Gigafactory in India or another country, and he said he couldn't comment on that. Gave the same spiel. And then the quote-unquote $25,000 car. The guy asked about it, and I think it was might have been another one too.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah, 25. No.
yeah. But anyways, in this article, Elon and in the interview, Elon touched on something, and it turned into a whole article, which I don't blame Drive Tesla Canada, and I saw it on other news articles too, or news outlets, that they're having so much demand, and you're talking about 30%. What was it? Profit margin, or
30%. That's from the last financial.
Yeah, and then they've always strived for that, right? And that's
quarter.
why they keep putting the prices up and stuff like that. And Canadian prices just went up last week or earlier this week again.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where it's like you wonder if if they're ever going to stop putting prices up. But I know in the earnings call, Elon did touch on that. One of the questions or one of the comments he made in the earnings call was about. He said, "I think we're done with the price increases." Maybe, like, he made it sound like he was hoping they were, but he wasn't 100% sure. But they were trying to. The way I took it is like he was trying. They were going to try to, but now he's come out and said that we're actually. This is his quote. We're actually probably going to limit or just stop taking orders for anything beyond a certain period of time because of some of the timelines is like a year away.
So let's talk about this, right? Because the Tesla tends to defy economics, right? I'd like to think I know a little bit of something of economics. I was an economics major. So, like what I see in the economy right now, right, is inflation is going up, right? Interest rates are going up. The average family income in the province of Ontario, where we live, right, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000. That's average family income.
Is it really?
And yeah, and at some point in time, Tesla's going to saturate the demographic that can afford to pay with taxes. It's 100,000 now to get a Model Y. Once you plug in the taxes here in Canada, the average family cannot afford a Tesla. And at some point in time, you're going to saturate your market, and the demand, and especially with interest rates rising, makes loans more expensive. Some uncertainty, maybe people might be starting to feel about their ability to make their mortgage payment if they're on a variable rate, especially. So I could definitely see a cooling down of demand. So it's very interesting that Tesla's having the opposite problem in these economic times that we live in. It's very strange to me.
You're exactly right. I mean, I'm not a economy expert like you, or is that what you said? Economy expert, not economy.
I don't know if I'm an expert, but
okay.
I know a little. It's dangerous.
No, you know. I think quite a bit, and what you said there seems accurate. I mean, I don't know how they do it. Like I have a bunch of different Tesla social media groups that I chat in with, and I know I have one with you, Paul, but it wasn't that group we were chatting in. It was another one where we were all saying that, and we all have 3s or Ys, and we were all saying with the prices now, like, heaven forbid anything happened with any of our cars, but if we wanted to buy another Y, say today, I personally, in my financial situation, and I'm not strapped or anything, but I'm not rich either. Lottery's tonight. I hope I win the lottery. But I couldn't afford one today. And it's a year later.
Yeah, I mean,
and a lot of people say, well, you bought one a year ago. Well, it's also the same car I bought, and you know this too, Paul, because we bought ours within a few months apart, where the price still remained the same. The same car today that I bought a year ago is $14,000 more. That's crazy.
And it's even higher than the one I bought. Like it was 67,000. That included the upgraded wheels, right? And
was there a price change between yours and mine?
Yeah, I think you got yours like several months after mine. So I think there had been a price change.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but this is just very strange to me. Like the affordability of these vehicles, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
today, if you're buying including tax and it's $100,000, I mean, unless you have a significant amount of money to put down, you're looking at a car payment of somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200
That's not.
per month,
I can't afford that.
right? So yeah, most people can't. So it's really interesting to me. Like I know maybe what a lot of people are doing is that during COVID, property values increase, so maybe they've got a home line of credit or something, and maybe they're just buying on the on the home line of credit because they're taking advantage of their equity increasing, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But it's still $100,000 for a car. Right? Like an average car, it's not luxurious, right? Let's be honest. It is
No.
a, it's a beautiful car. It's modern, right? I like the sparse interior personally, but it's by no means, in a traditional sense of speaking, a luxury vehicle, right?
I agree, and this is where I correct people all the time when my friends and colleagues. A lot of it is teasing, and I get it, right? But I correct them when they say, "Oh, you have a luxury car." Well, no, yeah, the price may make it sound luxury, and when you go inside, if you're not accustomed to a Tesla and you see it for the first time and it has one screen, and you may think it's a spaceship, and maybe that's a version of luxury to you. But
Yeah.
because it's priced like a BMW or a Mercedes, that doesn't make it luxury. What I've always tell people, and I correct people, is when you buy a Tesla, you're not buying it and paying that price for luxury. You're paying that price
Mm-hmm.
for the tech. That's that price, that the Tesla tax, or however you want to say it. That's for the tech, in my opinion. It's not for the luxury. Yeah, it's got some nice features and stuff like that. But listen, if I wanted a luxury car, I'd buy a Mercedes.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, is true luxury. Maybe even you can even say Audis and BMWs, but a Tesla, I don't know. I think the price has sort of labeled Tesla as a luxury brand, or maybe Tesla did it themselves with the S when they released the S. And the S and the X, I could say maybe is trending a little more luxury, but certainly not the
Especially the
Y, the 3.
refresh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, no, I don't
Okay.
understand how people can do it. And is that what we were talking about? We were talking about,
Yeah.
yeah, how they want to stop. I know this is a tangent we went off on, Paul. How Elon's talking about stopping from taking orders, and you know what? I mean, this is I guess what they're figuring out is at Tesla they're figuring out we can't keep raising these prices like this. We just can't. Uh, we're going to screw ourselves, or it could be a matter of parts shortage too, right? That maybe they have
Well,
to because of the parts.
the other thing that's interesting about it, we're really flogging this one, but the other thing that I find interesting about it is that Tesla has an ability that their competitors do not. So they've got healthy margins. So if it came to demand starting to dry up a little bit, Tesla could reduce their prices to
True.
spur demand because their competitors can't match Tesla's pricing, right?
No.
So if you think about it, like the traditional manufacturers have that 9 to 12% margin, Tesla has almost 3 times that, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a dogfight, Tesla's got room,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what Raymond's saying here. There's still plenty of room. I'm assuming that's what he meaning by it. But yeah, no, I agree with you. And the other OEMs can't do that, like you said. If you've got a margin of 9 to 12%, I mean, even if Tesla cuts theirs in half, it's still over what the traditional OEMs have, right? So yeah, will they do that? I don't know. I mean, we've seen, who was it? It's Lucid. Lucid just raised their prices. Now they did it the right way, not like Rivian. They announced that coming at the end of the month into
Yeah.
next month they will have their new prices. That's brilliant in their part. It's fair, and it's also brilliant because if it does nothing more than spur additional orders, it's successful for them, right?
But I think back to what I was saying around about this article is like if you look to history, right, and I know that Tesla has a tendency to buck the trend, right, but how many more people can afford this vehicle
That's what I
today,
asked myself.
right?
Yeah.
At some point in time, at least in Canada, I don't know in the US whether or not the price has reached that point, but I think in Canada it has, because you've got to put on average 13% on top of that price as for your tax as
Yeah.
well, right? So I think that if I were looking at history and trying to predict, I would say that demand is going to decrease for Tesla as interest rates rise and inflation, causes people to tighten their belt, right?
We'll see. But I wonder, like, if they do stop. And I know you're right. We are flogging this one a little bit much, but we'll move on to the next topic in a second, in a minute.
Julio had a good comment about the Tesla tax, right? Because that's why they can maintain these margins today. It's very similar to Apple, right?
Yep.
Brand loyalty.
Yep. No, it's true. It is true, and it is. There definitely is something there when people use that term, the Tesla tax. Yeah, just like Apple tax. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Ford, they stopped taking orders on the F-150, which, by the way, if no one's been following, Ford announced last week that they've started production. They had a whole big thing, and they took a couple jabs at Tesla. I don't know if you saw that press conference, Paul,
No.
or that I don't know if it's called a keynote or what, but yeah. The Jim Farley, the CEO, took some jabs at Tesla, and I get it. It's all in heart or in fairness.
There's this really great YouTube video. The channel is Cold Fusion, I believe, and I like this guy because he's very methodical about the way he approaches his videos, and he's not just like a Tesla YouTuber, right? He does all sorts of different things, but he had this video where he talked about Ford and the Lightning, specifically the pickup truck, and he made a pretty compelling argument that Ford will likely lose money on every Lightning that they sell.
Well, for $40,000, yeah, they could, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe we can tweet out a link to this video. It was maybe about 6 months ago that I saw it, but it was a very compelling argument, right? That the Lightning could bankrupt Ford is really what his position was.
Really?
And yeah, so if I were Ford, I'm not sure I would have such swagger right now, but
you know what, though? I think with that said, and I'd be very curious or interested in seeing that article. Send me the link when you get a chance, and I'll try to put it down in the comments below when you do for other people. But at the same time, I've heard a lot of experts, and I tend to agree with them. A lot of experts say that this Ford F-150, the Lightning, is huge, not just for Ford, but for the whole industry. That if Ford can do this properly and at this price, and that's arguable, still waits to be seen whether they can or not. But if they can just even bring this out and it be a success, like so far it looks like it's going to be, then that's going to be huge for the industry, because everyone keeps going back to the F-150 is the best selling, most popular selling vehicle, not just pickup but vehicle in the last 20-30 years or some astronomical stat. So yeah, I mean, I want to see it do well too, and it looks very nice. But it just, every time I see whether it's Rivian coming out or now the F-150 Lightning, I skipped over the Hummer because it's a joke. But even when they announced the Sierra, GM announced the Sierra, it just got me so, I don't know if jealous is the right word, or just so aggravated. Maybe aggravated is a better, more accurate word for the Cybertruck. And it's like, come on, just put it out.
Yeah, at least like Tesla's doing something bold, right? The F-150 Lightning kind of looks like pickup trucks of yonder, right? and I'm not bashing it at all. And my position has always been clear, since I bought my first Tesla in 2017, that it's not really all about Tesla for me. I mean, obviously I love Tesla, I drive Teslas, but I'm for all EVs
Yeah,
because I would like to see fossil fuels, eliminated, right? So, every new EV that gets put on the road to me is a good thing. I don't care who makes it, right? So, yeah, I hope the Lightning is successful. I hope Ford can make it. I hope, Rivian and Lucid and, these other companies, these startups, Fisker's another one,
yeah,
I hope that they're successful. And not because I want to take away from potential Tesla sales, right? But because I want to remove fossil fuel vehicles from the road.
I
That's
agree.
always been my position. Yeah.
Yeah, like-minded. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Paul. That's me too. I don't understand sometimes in some of the forums and social media platforms I go on where I hear the Tesla owners, shit on the other
Yeah.
up and
I don't
coming
like that.
car companies. Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I never understood. Um, yeah, you could have a favorite. You could have someone that you're rooting for, but does it mean that you have to, you know, downplay or crap on the other company that's coming up? I mean, we get pissed off and we resent the people that are the Tesla haters, right? For doing the exact same thing, whether they're the gas holes or whatever they're called,
Yeah.
the anti-Tesla, the Tesla Qs. We get pissed off and we get really angry at those people, but then some
Can
of
you
us
put
turn around and do the
Mitchell's
same thing.
comment up?
Yeah,
Mitchell's comment about he'd be surprised if Ford is making money off the Lightning. And the thing about the comment that resonates with me here is the dealer. The dealer network is, in my opinion, the biggest challenge that the traditional OEMs have, right?
yep,
Because they, the dealers are somewhat protected by legal agreements that have been entered into, with the manufacturer, and also state level protections
yeah,
for the dealer network. So this to me, I think, is an accurate statement that the dealers stand to make a lot of money um, at Ford's expense, essentially, right? And we've heard stories about dealers even jacking up the sticker price, right? Um, this is a significant challenge, right? To the likelihood of the traditional OEM succeeding.
no, I get it. It is an uphill battle for them, especially like you said, the big three, right? I don't know what they're going to do. I know Ford just came out and said, put out. I was reading an article, put out some email to all the dealers saying that you will not sell the floor model of the Lightning because I guess they anticipated or they suspected that these dealers would just try to push them out and make way for the gas cars and just sell it off. But they're like,
Yeah,
you have to keep the floor model, and if you don't, they're going to charge you $25,000 as a penalty to the dealership, which is a good thing.
yeah,
I get it. Ford looks like they're getting that and they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's. But you're right. It's we'll have to wait and see what happens. And yeah, especially at the 40,000, that entry level, I can't see Ford making money. They've got to be, even
yeah,
though it's a smaller battery pack, they've got to be losing money on that. Like Mitchell says, maybe the Lightning, maybe even some higher trims of the XLT, they may break even or maybe make a little bit. But yeah, definitely the Platinum. But then you're looking at the Platinum is it like 90,000 US for the Platinum? I think it's up there.
yeah.
Here in Canada, that's like 110, $115,000. So that's for a truck, and I get it. Trucks are always been expensive, or in the last few years at least. So we'll have to wait and see
I'm
what
not
happens
sure.
with that.
I'm not sure if anyone else is old enough to remember, and maybe
But
Mitchell, if
that's
you're
true.
still watching, it'd be interesting your opinion on this. But back in the day, I think so GM spun up a division called Saturn,
Oh
right?
yeah, I remember Saturn.
And I want to say that was a direct. It was not a dealer network. And I don't know if anyone knows otherwise, but I think that's what the OEMs may need to do, is to spin up a new company that's going to be their EV arm, for example, so they can get out from under this stupid dealer network.
There was one company, I can't remember if it was a European company or here in North America, that did that, brought out something. I mean, okay, there's Volvo and Polestar, but there's another company. I'm not talking about Polestar. There was another company that did that brought out a whole new division. Everyone knew that it's under them, but
I'm an old guy, Ray. Actually, like what I like to say is that I'm a young man. No, I'm an old man trapped in a young man's body.
That's how we all feel. So Mitchell says Saturn was supposed to be sold at sticker, but not direct at all.
Oh, so it wasn't direct. Okay.
Anyways, on later. Yeah, I know they had dealers. Now, whether they were just showrooms like Tesla,
that's what I was curious about.
Yeah. Well, look at Saturn, right? Where are they now? They're gone. So let's move on to the next article here, or next topic. And you touched on, there was something you said when you were talking about 5 minutes ago that I thought, that was a good segue, but I didn't want to interrupt you. You were on a roll, and you're making good points, so I didn't want to connect the tangent or connect the segue. But
okay.
Also in that interview of yesterday that Tesla had with the that Elon had with that, I forget the name of the, whatever it was called. Oh, the Financial Times Future of Car Summit. That's what it was called. He talked about one of the questions was, I know they know that it's happening in Europe, but is Tesla going to open up the superchargers to all other EVs still? And Elon still saying he's going to. I know we've talked about this already, Paul, but he's still saying they're going to. And now it looks like they're probably going to do what they did in Europe, where they're going to just not just give. I thought it would be just easier just to make an adapter of some sort, like supercharger to CCS adapter. But it seems like they're doing the opposite. They're going to make a CCS connector. Yeah, retrofit all the cabinets.
Well, I mean, I have some pretty strong feelings about this because, it's kind of like, on the one hand, EV adoption is very important, but on the other hand, when you pay a premium like you do for Tesla, do you want to wait for a Chevy Bolt to charge at a supercharger? I think one of the reasons why I recommend Tesla, right, over other brands is because of the charging network.
Yep.
And I just worry if it's open up to everybody, it's just going to. I'm just worried it could be like I hate to say shit show, but that's the only way to describe it.
No, you know what? You actually, and I know your stance on it, and it makes sense because I was the opposite when it first was announced. I'm like, yeah, the more the merrier. Bring it on. It's all good. But you and I, like I said, we've had this discussion before, and every single time you've talked about this, you've changed my mind now, and so I agree with you now. Not that I don't want to see EV adoption take off, but I don't know. I can see the same thing happening. Now, I'll play devil's advocate for a second, even though I am saying that I totally agree with you, Paul, and my stance is the same as yours. But let me just go on the other side of the fence for a second and say, you know what? I've seen it already, that there's some Tesla owners already out there that, even though it's a Tesla, abuse the superchargers and do stupid things and leave it plugged in, and they'll get idling fees. I get it, or they'll pretend to plug it in and not plug it in fully and walk away. I've seen that. So I've seen my share of what are they called, EV holes by Tesla owners too. So I'm not saying that is the reason why we should allow it. At the end of the day, it's not going to be up to us. Even though we're shareholders, we should have a say. But anyways, it's going to happen, and I guess we'll have to deal with it. I don't know.
No.
I'm going through this. I was just talking to my wife today. I know you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing this. It sounds like a broken record. Family's going away on vacation later this summer, and we're driving. And in a nutshell, we're depending on regular public chargers. There's no superchargers out there, and that is right now in the planning. We're in the planning stages. I thought we'd planned this all out, and I had probably a couple months ago, booked the hotels, knew where we were stopping in the 2 or 3 day journey, everything, booked the hotels for the overnight stays and everything. And now I'm thinking, you know what? I don't know if I can rely on the reliability, for one, this is what I was explaining to my wife, the reliability of these public chargers, and for two, because there's only 1 or 2 of these chargers at least at the locations I'm going to. It's not like sorry?
It's a great point, right? Like I was just over at Canadian Tire in Barrie yesterday, right? And there's Electrify Canada there, nice. But there's 4 units, right?
You know what? 4. I know what you're saying, and that's what my point was. Like the minimum, what's the minimum Tesla has? 6 or 8, and they're pretty reliable.
Very rarely do you see one with 6.
Yeah, right. I think the smallest one is 6.
Yeah, so let's take the same city. So Barrie, right? Barrie has 8 plus 24, 32 supercharging stations in Barrie,
and right down the street,
Electrify Canada.
I get it, yeah, and there's
it is a problem
too. It is, and that was my point to my wife. I'm like, I'm really getting stressed out about this because all it takes is one of these chargers not to work, or for somebody else to be on the same schedule as us in an EV, stopping at the same time, because what the big stress for me is we have to catch a ferry, we have to catch a boat, and it's a very strict time. We have to be there no later than a certain time, and if I plan it to arrive there perfectly at the right time, I'd be risking it, because like I said, it just takes one person in an EV that has the same plan as us. These locations are only 1. So I would have, and they take so long to charge, they're only 50 kilowatts. So I'd have to wait an hour for them to charge.
Yeah. And it gets worse because in that particular location, right, there's no way to queue. So if you arrive and it's full, and maybe there's a couple other people who arrive before you, it becomes chaos because it's not designed for being able to queue and wait. And with that few chargers, that's likely going to happen. So next thing you know, people are going to be getting out of their cars and punching the crap out of each other.
Yeah, they'll be.
I predicted it here on your channel.
No. You're absolutely right, because it will turn into, I guess, what could we call that? What could we coin that term? Charging rage, parking lot rage.
It's going to happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've seen fights at gas stations when gas drops 5 cents and there's a big lineup because it's going up.
Yeah, Costco.
Yeah, Costco's a perfect example. Yeah, to save 10 cents. I don't get it. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But he's saying that we're getting it now. Hopefully, they do it in the U.S. first, and then, like everything else, it takes a while to come to Canada. This is the one thing that I don't mind waiting on. This is the one time I'm glad I'm in Canada, because if it all holds true like it has been, the guys in the U.S., you guys will get it first, and we can at least have, hopefully, maybe a 3 to 6 months, maybe a year if we're lucky, delay.
I want to talk about 2 things. So one, Raymond's comment about the Tesla cable being short. This is a huge problem. We've already seen pictures where some EVs have to take up 2 Tesla stalls to charge because the cable is so short. So maybe even 3, right? So that is a very valid issue. right? And then Mitchell also mentioned something that I wanted to. Where was it?
The range, this one?
No, not that one. Oh well. Oh yes, he says maybe Tesla is going to get huge tax credits to pay for building even more superchargers. So, uh, the question there being, can Tesla build enough of them that people don't have to worry about being able to charge when they arrive, right? And with gas stations, right? Like if you think about how, because we all drove powered cars previously. I mean, there's a gas station every corner. So if this one's busy, you go to this one. Like I've never, unless you go to Costco to try to save that, 5 cents per liter. I don't think I've ever waited for gas.
No, no, or
Right?
unless you have no choice, unless you're like somewhere remote, northern or something. Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I know, and this is what I tell all my non-EV friends that they don't argue with me, but they wonder out loud. They wonder like the infrastructure if it's there, and I'm like, yeah. Like their thing is, well, if we were all to get an electric car tomorrow, there wouldn't be the infrastructure. And I agree, I totally agree. But we're not going to get electric cars all tomorrow because the industry isn't there yet. As the industry grows, so will the infrastructure. Hopefully, I mean, unless someone drops the ball, some government or Tesla drops the ball, which I can't see Tesla doing it. If anything, Tesla's been a pioneer in this all. But
Yeah.
yeah, unless some state or some government drops the ball, uh, the infrastructure should grow ahead of uh, the cars being sold. So we'll see. So and it's the same argument. Some people say, "Oh, well, if we were all to plug in our cars, the grid would shut down." Yeah, well,
That's not
maybe
true.
today. Well, even if it does, maybe today, but we're not there yet. We don't have that volume of EVs. And by the time we do, the infrastructure once again and the grid and people adopting solar and everything like that, it will grow, and we won't have that problem. Now, maybe I'm putting too much faith and giving our government too much credit, but I'm hoping to think that our government, and I know I'm a fool for thinking that, but I'm hoping that won't happen. I'm hoping that we have enough foresight. But yeah, that's a good
Well,
point
it's
that you guys brought up about the cable. Maybe that's why
it,
Tesla didn't go with the adapter route. Maybe that's why they decided to go. We have to put in a whole new cable
maybe.
in these pedestals because for length. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point,
Yeah.
Paul. Never thought of that. You're smart. See, this is why I have you on the channel, right?
Keep
Okay.
stroking, Dax. Keep
Yeah.
stroking.
You know what? We were going to talk about. Let's just touch on it really quickly. Tesla's suing a former thermal engineer for stealing the Dojo computer secrets. Idiot or genius? Russian
Idiot.
spy
So,
or idiot?
so this is like, I'm surprised that people working for such a technology focused company like Tesla wouldn't understand that, I'm in this industry, right? So I know there's something called data exfiltration, right? Which is data that's leaving your company. And companies have all sorts of technology to be able to tell whether or not unless you took a picture of your screen at home, right? Tesla's going to know. So if this guy did transfer files to, a personal device of some sort, like if he didn't think he was going to get caught, then I question this person's intelligence. So in my mind, they get what they deserve.
Yeah. We'll see what happens because he lied. Apparently, he lied twice. And when they asked him back for the Tesla property, which was the company laptop, he handed them another dummy laptop, like his own personal one. So, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I'm surprised. Like you said, I'm not in the industry like you are, but even I know that yeah, in this day and age, big companies in general, but a tech company like Tesla, and you think you can pull one over on them? Like, come on, give your head a shake. It's like
Yeah.
any company these days that have to do with computers, which every company has some form of computer in their business. for the employees
Yeah.
that they use. They can monitor, they track you, they own the servers, they monitor the servers. Yeah, they know what you're doing.
You cannot steal trade secrets. It's against the law.
And
Right?
it's yeah,
So
and I'm sure they signed something about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this guy has made his own bed, and he's going to lay in it now.
yeah.
So I think Tesla's totally appropriate in going after this person.
Oh yeah, and they'll win. Somebody they sued somebody else a little while ago for something else. Ray, I just put Raymond's comment up there. I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm not even going to read it out. These guys in the group that are watching in the chat here, they seem to be very smart individuals. They probably won't have any questions. But if you do, let me know. I've got a couple questions from the same guy. I'm just going to throw on the screen here because the topics are over. So I'm just going to throw a quick question on here, Paul. See if you and I can put our heads together and help David out here. David from Ottawa, he said, I saw your show on the CCS adapter. Very good option. My car is not CCS enabled. Can Tesla enable it with a software update, or does it need to be some new hardware? What do you think? I think I may know the answer, but I want to know what you think, Paul.
This is one of those engineering questions that I just don't know.
No.
Right? I know my car has it. That's about all I know.
But it's weird, eh? Last year, I think it's safe to say any 2022 has it, but last year was weird because yeah, I got it too, and you got it. You were in early 2021, right?
Yeah.
But then I know someone that got theirs in the fall, like the last half, if not the fall of last year, 2021. So you would think a newer car would have it, but it didn't have it.
I would have to agree with Jay in the comments that there would be some difference in the hardware to if something's got to translate that standard, right? There's two different standards there. So something's got to be happening there. Now maybe Tesla's figured out a way to do it in the adapter itself, but if I were a betting person, I would say there's probably some hardware in the car.
Me too.
Yeah.
So to answer David Belleville's question, I don't think it's as simple as a software thing. I hope it is. I hope it's something.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. But the reason why I'm leaning towards hardware is because if it was software, wouldn't they have?
Why would they do it?
Why would some cars and not other cars? Like, wouldn't they just put a software update to patch all those non-cars? That's the way I look at it. So
yeah.
Ray, was it Ray? Ray asked a question here. Ray, first of all, you have to understand my memory is like a sponge. Sorry, the opposite of a sponge. See, I forgot what sponges actually do. So my memory is bad. It's like a sieve. That's what I was looking at for. So I do remember. I want to say I remember something about winter tire comparison, but I also want to say I don't. So refresh my memory. But even if I did promise you something like that, we're past that point. So unfortunately, we'll have to wait till next winter. But put in the comments, refresh my memory what I promised, because I apologize, I don't remember. Okay, here's a comment. My car is May 31st, 2021 build. Well, it's 3 long range. Yeah. Okay. So so you're just almost identical build to mine. Mine was like 2 weeks before yours, and mine also is enabled. But some people are and some people aren't. Okay, so that's one question from David. Thanks, David. Hopefully we answered your question there. And here's another one. It's a new question. Same person, new question though. With Kia and Hyundai offering plug-in capabilities, the ability to plug in my coffee machine so I could make my own coffee on the run is a tremendous appeal. Has anyone in the Tesla community had a plug-in installed so they can have this convenience?
You can get an inverter, to put into the 9-volt plug, right? The cigarette lighter thing. So that's one option. So And then I don't know, do they make a coffee machine that can get its power from USB?
You know what? I bet you they do. I never thought of that, but the minute that those words left your mouth, I thought, oh, wait a minute, there probably is. But no, I was going back to your first suggestion, the inverter. That's what I was going to suggest to him. I have an inverter, and I've used it for not coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I've used it where I've needed to plug a 110 into it, and it works great. They're cheap. You can look on Amazon. You can. I just got a 300 watt. You can get a 150. You can get a 400 or 500 watt. I went somewhere in the middle of the road. 300 watts. I think I paid $30 for it, and it works great.
Yeah.
And it even has some slots for USB too, and it has 2 slots, so it works great. So if you're really looking for a coffee maker, I don't know if you were joking or not, David. I'm going to assume you weren't. You can do that. Amazon or go to your local hardware store. I'm sure it'd have something. Like Paul says, it just plugs into your cigarette lighter, the 12 volt. Sorry for hitting the mic there. Bob's your uncle. You're off to the races. Any more cliche sayings I can say there? Can you plug in a cooler? Northern Tesla. This joker is asking if I can plug in a cooler. Yeah, you can plug in a cooler. You get the coolers that have the same thing like Paul says, the 12 volt plug, which is a lot of the plug-in coolers come with. But some coolers are 110. I haven't seen many of them, but you can get the 110. But then once again, you will need an inverter. I don't know what wattage it draws, so you might need to look into that, Northern Tesla. Or you can just get a regular cooler. Franklin's on a road trip right now. He just got a regular cooler, and apparently it's some fancy dancy cooler that keeps ice for 5 days or something like that.
You want to make sure that you get something that's, UL approved or registered or CSA in Canada, because some of those cheap ones that you can get off Amazon, I wouldn't trust those. Those ones will just light up.
Are we talking about coolers, or are we talking about inverters?
Coolers and inverters too. I wouldn't trust a cheap knockoff inverter either.
No. Well, once again, it's one of these things that you shouldn't leave it unattended, but you never know. Even if you are in the car, things can happen, right? I mean, stranger things have happened in the past, I've heard.
Yeah, there's been stories.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm just looking. I'm listening to you, but I'm also just perusing the.
That's okay. You can ignore me.
No, I'm not ignoring it. Just perusing this chat to see if anyone has any questions or any notable comments. I mean, all your comments are notable, don't get me wrong, guys, but I just want to see if anything that I should post for everyone to see, which everyone can see anyways. Mitch brings up, we're getting back to the F-150. They've got a lot, like a crap load of
yes, they do.
110s and even 240s in there.
Lots of coffee. You have cappuccino maker.
Yeah. Speaking of which, and I totally agree, don't get me wrong, I think the future should be, and I'll be really disappointed if the Cybertruck doesn't have, what's it called? Vehicle to grid charging. And I think the future is that, just like how the F-150 can. I think the Ioniq 5 can do it too. I'm not sure about the Kia, but the Ioniq 5, I'm pretty sure can do it. But did you see now that it's being released, and I suspected this from day one, how much it costs to retrofit your home to get that capability? Because you just can't, not any house can do it. You have to get a box. I think it's Suncor or SunJuice or some third-party companies working with Ford to install these. It's $4,000 US to get this installed. And that's if you don't have to upgrade other things. That's just for what you need, but it may be additional costs on top of that. But you know what? A lot of people have said, compared that to a Powerwall that Tesla offers, and what they're saying is you compare the battery pack of the F-150, it's 10 times what a Powerwall is. So if you were to get 10 Powerwalls, it's going to cost you $120,000, and this is only $4,000. So yeah, I get it. At the end of the day, it's obviously cheaper, even though it is still $4,000. And Ford, ironically, didn't talk about price when they first talked about this. And like I said, vehicle to grid is going to become important, and other people are going to need to do this. So I get it; it needs to be done. But everyone's touting, oh, you can do 3 or 4 days on the average home from a full battery pack of the F-150, and if you conserve it, you can do 9 or 10. But realistically, your truck is never going to be, I highly doubt, ever going to be fully charged. So those rosy 3 to 4 days or 9 to 10 conservative days, they're all in a perfect world. So will it still benefit for rolling blackouts that they have in California and the
That's
grid
what
that they
I was
have
thinking.
in Texas? Yeah, it will be good. It'll be good to have, but let's not get fooled about the amount of days it's going to do. If it does a day or two, that could be money spent right there, right? Or money well spent. So I just thought I'd throw that in. What were we talking about? We're talking about all the plugs in the F-150. That's what made me get off on that tangent. Anyways, Paul, when we end off the show, I have a tradition of doing this. Do you have any kind of a Tesla personal story to share with the rest of the people watching or listening? If you don't, and you know me, I don't pressure you. If you don't have one, then so be it. It's good. You don't have to. Have you driven anywhere lately? Have you gone anywhere?
Yeah, it's been pretty mundane though. I'd say the only thing that's kind of interesting is I got a really nice companion piece to my Tesla, is what I'm calling it. So I got myself an e-bike.
Does your wife know? Oh yes, yeah, your
bike.
She
got one too.
Yeah. You got one. You both got one?
We both got one. So
awesome.
And I was on the fence about it because I'm like, do you really need an e-bike? But let me tell you, after being out on it a couple of times, it's fantastic because it's like the average person isn't training for the Tour de France, right? So to have that assist going uphill, I like it.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, it's I call it a companion to my Model Y because you stick it on the back and you can just go wherever and go off on your bike for it's got 80 kilometers of range with pedal assist. So
wow,
that's about the most exciting thing, I think.
What's that mean without pedal assist? What will it go?
Or so if you're going to get full range, it's with pedal assist, right? So there's 3 modes that they have, right? So one is throttle, which means you're running on the battery only.
Uh-huh.
One is just like a regular bike, you're pedaling it, like the assist system is completely off, or something called pedal assist, which means that you're pedaling, right? So you're not using as much battery, but it's assisting you, right? Yeah. So if you're going up a hill, it's just helping you out a little bit, right? And that's
so you still get your exercise
kind of range. Yeah, you still get some exercise, yeah, unless you have it on throttle all the time and you're literally doing nothing. But it's I like it. I didn't know that I would like it as much as I do, but I really, really like it.
Can I show the people watching a picture of it? I've taken out your plate. Can I show a picture?
You have a picture of it?
Yeah, no, you sent me a picture of it. Yeah,
yeah, okay. I did.
That's there. Yeah, that's a sweet looking bike, dude.
Yeah, I got the fancy rims and all.
Oh yeah, are those aftermarkets? That is cool. And what's it called? Emo?
Emo. That's the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's got a what is it? A 15 amp hour battery on it. Samsung cells.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mitchell.
How long does it take to charge?
That my hills are huge, so.
And he has no idea where you live. Actually, no, he probably has seen your hill video. You know how you do your winter testing on those hill videos? Yeah,
oh, that's right. I did do that.
Yes, okay. Yes. So
I thought he was talking about my spare tire.
Oh no. He wouldn't. Mitchell's a very nice person. He would never do that. So I see. So it has lights on it and everything.
Yeah, it's got like a headlight. It's got brake lights, right? It has a computer. You can't see the screen, that's on the bike in this picture very well, but it's got a screen on it. It'll show you how much battery you have left, how much range you have left. It's really cool. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom in here to see if there's the There's a screen right there, right in the center. I like the front shocks there. Disc brakes. How long does it take to charge?
If it's totally empty, it can take between 8 to 10 hours. It's very slow charging. Like it's just a
Overnight
small
thing,
charging
obviously.
brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet. You know what?
But it'll last forever. I've had it out. It was fully charged, and I've done probably at least 50 kilometers on it, right? And I still got like 3 bars out of 4 for
Oh,
stable
really?
charge.
So you got to come down to my place with it.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll put it on the back of the Tesla, then I'll come down.
No. I want you to ride your bike down.
I don't know if I want to be on the 400 riding that thing.
Oh, there's back roads to my place. You don't have to take the 400. I'm kidding. That's fine.
But wouldn't it be cool if Tesla made a bike like that? I think that would be really cool.
Well, once again, I keep going back to this silly interview that they had yesterday for that summit that I keep forgetting the name of. But one of the questions was somebody asked him if Tesla's going to make a scooter. And Elon adamantly said, nope, scooters are dangerous and stupid. Or I don't know if he said stupid part, but he said they're dangerous. And they're not going to make one. And I guess that's, to him, that's very similar to the motorcycle, because he's been asked years ago if they were going to make a motorcycle.
With the e-bike, like from the factory, the way they've got it programmed is to limit at 32 kilometers per hour. I'm not sure what that is in miles. Was that like 20 miles per hour?
Yep.
But you can go into the computer interface and you can change that, and you can uncork it to 45 kilometers an hour, which is a pretty good clip on a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Bike, right?
Yeah. Well, all these e-bikes that have come out in the last 5 or 10 years that you see all over the place now, there's regulations for them. There's stupid regulations here in Ontario, but there are regulations where, they're supposed to be governed. But I know for a fact, don't ask me how I know, I don't own one, so it's not me, but I know for a fact that most dealers or shops that sell you the bike, like wherever you would buy the bike from, they will actively and have no problem deactivate the governor on it for that reason. And you're also supposed to keep the pedals on a lot of these e-bikes, and a lot of people take the pedals off. And the minute you take the pedals off, apparently it doesn't constitute as an e-bike here in Ontario, but they do anyways. So there's a lot of things.
You don't need a driver's license. You don't need insurance.
No, exactly.
You do need an upgraded helmet, though.
That's what the only Snell approved helmet. Yes. Yeah. But I agree. That's exactly it. So all the things you don't need because it falls into the category of an e-bike. The minute you take the pedals off, now it's not considered an e-bike. So now you need all those things. Yes. So.
But where are you going to rest your feet?
Yeah, I guess. But you'd be surprised. Some of these e-bikes, they don't look like e-bikes. They look like motorcycles. There's one lady on my street that has one. It's an e-bike. It may even be a borderline electric motorcycle. It looks like one of those crotch rockets. It looks like a motorcycle, but every time it goes by my street, it's like whisper quiet. It just has like a little whine. So I know it's electric. It's not gas, but it looks like, if you didn't hear it, you'd think it's a motorcycle. They look so realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of those at the shop that we bought ours from. So
yeah. So that's exactly it. And if I don't know where you got it from, and don't say, but I'm sure if you asked the salesperson to take off the governor, they would have done it. I'm pretty
he
sure.
said to me, he said, do you want me to?
There you go. There you go. It's a sales pitch.
It's right in the manual, though. The manual tells you how to do it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, I can see that. Right. The manual, the manufacturer's not going to care where you live or where it's sold to. Right. It'll probably be some small print in the manual, maybe at the last page saying abide all your state or provincial rules, and
Yeah, for
they
sure.
wipe their hands clean of it, right?
Yeah. Some
Anyways,
jurisdictions might allow it. So
exactly, yeah. Well, that's good. Congratulations on your new purchase.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really excited.
yeah. Next time I see you, and how much does it weigh? That's what I was going to ask you.
With the battery, it weighs 60 pounds.
That's not bad at all. So
Yeah.
that could go on a bike rack.
Oh yeah,
So
it goes on.
yeah,
We have bike racks. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
And
because the
without the
reason.
battery, it's 47.
Oh, the battery detaches.
Yeah, the battery, you can take the battery off.
Oh, I guess so. To take it in the house to charge it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the reason I ask is my son. There was some kid in our neighborhood in the park we were at a couple weeks ago. He had this dirt bike. It looked like a real dirt bike, but it was electric. And we looked at it, and it ended up being, the company Razor that makes the very popular company Razor that makes scooters and stuff like that. So they're all electrified now. They make electric scooters and stuff like that. So it's a Razor. So we looked at it online on Amazon, and my son wants one, and he's like wants to sell his hoverboard. He wants to sell his bike. We're like, you're not selling your bike. You need exercise. Like, we don't want to get. But
Yes.
my wife's all on board. She wants to get him this, and I was looking at it, and I was doing some research. It goes. It's pretty heavy. It weighs 98 pounds. So my biggest thing is, like, we do a lot of camping, and I said, you know what, you're gonna get bored riding it around our neighborhood after a while. You're gonna want to take it other places, and it's just not conducive to take other places like that. But I don't know. We're still in negotiations about it. But that's why I was curious how much yours weighs, because this one wouldn't fit on a traditional bike rack. I guess it would. I don't know. I don't know if it would or not. So we'll see. But yeah, my son wants one. I'm not going to show him yours because he'll want that. Well, Paul, thanks very much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure.
It's very enlightening, and I can't wait for you to have your next episode or even a video coming out. Do you have anything in the pipeline? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I apologize, but just curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video about the e-bike being the perfect companion to your Tesla.
Perfect,
So
because it is.
It is. I think it is.
Yeah. I want to get something. I told my wife, I want to get something for when we go on vacation, that if we go out to dinner and we're stopping at a supercharger, or if a couple of places we're stopping, it's not really.
And FSD beta update as well. That's coming. Sorry.
And an update. Yes, right there.
Yeah. It's actually getting better. Like, it has really, really good days where it's working quite well. But then it'll have a day or so where it's regressing. So
it does something to the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm looking into something for that last little kilometer or something. But anyways, we'll stop it there. Where can people? I mean, I'm sure everyone knows, but I'd be remiss to not ask anyways. Where can people find you, buddy?
YouTube.com/Electric Canuck.
Electric Canuck. Yes.
I keep wanting to say Tesla Canuck because
I know. Well, hey, you think I have that problem all the time, just remembering your name sometimes. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, anyone that, I'm sure everyone knows, but anyone that wonders, Paul was Tesla Canuck, and he's expanded his horizons, not going away from Tesla, embracing it even more, if anything. Yeah, not going anywhere. He's just rebranding and expanding. Rebranding and expanding. Yeah. That should have been your motto, I think. Yeah, okay. And yeah, that's where you can find him, and he's got some cool videos coming up. People in the chat, thank you very much for participating.
EV Bike Connect.
EV Bike Connect. That's what you got to come out with now. So Julio says, yeah, thanks for contributing, guys. Thanks for joining me. Anyone that's listening on the podcast, on the audio portion of it, if you have any questions, just like David did, get your questions in. All you have to do is either get me on one of the social platforms under Tesla Talks, or on Facebook under Bailey MC, or send me an email at Tesla Talks Questions. That's plural, questions with an S.
That's right.
Tesla Talks Questions at gmail.com. Send your question there, just like David did. and we'll get it on the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Take care. Thanks, Paul.